citadel of freedom for our fellow Americans. We, the people, are not destined for failure. I don't care what corporate media outlets say. I don't care what Hollywood says. I don't care what big corporations say. Decline is a choice, and freedom is worth fighting for. We will stand firm in the faith. We will be courageous. Here I stand. I'm not backing down. Never Back Down Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Right now, a child is being diagnosed with cancer.
We cannot save the world alone.
Hey, hello.
In the United States, 1 in 5 kids with cancer still dies. In many other countries,
I was just going through my Twitter rules. I've been suspended from Twitter. Ooh, for violating something. I wonder what it is. Well, I sent an appeal. Let's see how fast they respond to that. Anyway, it's Friday, May 5th. It is, I can see it, 3/27/22. 1,500 hours. 15:27. Yep, 27 minutes after. Free. Took me a while to read the rules. There's not that many rules. I don't know how I violated. So we'll see what goes on. In the meantime, we've got some very interesting tomorrow. We got the Kentucky Derby. Look at all these horses lined up. It's amazing.
Los Angeles was founded in the 1960s with the goal that no child should die in the dawn of life, and that means no child, period, anywhere.
you can help St. Jude save lives.
Let's see where I want to.
Or scan the
Oh
QR
yeah,
code below
this case has been resolved. He is victorious. Ed Sheeran. He's a singer, and he's leaving Manhattan Federal Court after winning his copyright lawsuit in New York City 3 days ago. He's a singer that said, if I lose this case, I'm done. I'm not making any more songs. Period. You know, he'd do something else in and around the music industry, but not necessarily singing like he has been. So he won. He said it took 8 years. Oh God, 8 years to get to May 2nd, 2023. That's not good. Our system shouldn't take 8 years. All right, here's an interesting little story. Almost 90% of Warren Buffett's $347 billion portfolio is only in 11 stocks. And you know what one of the major stocks he's in? It's up here. Apple. Can you believe it? Now, he went a long time, decades, without investing in Apple at all. And it's relatively recent that he decided to get into Apple, because one of his very senior advisors said, you really need to be with Apple. It's the biggest and strongest and best company in the whole United States, and we don't have any. Well, guess what? They have 155 billion with a B. 155.4 billion, almost 45%, 44.7% of his entire invested assets. 155 out of 347 is invested in Apple stock. It's amazing. He didn't buy that all once. It was continuous thing over a number of years, but that's a lot of it. You know, I mean, you can divide back by the $160 a share to see how many millions of shares it is, but it's a lot. The second most largest, I should say, the second largest percentage of his investments is in Bank of America. Yep. He started buying that when it was $6 a share. Everyone thought he was nuts. No, he's not so nuts. You can see what B of A sells for now. It's a big number. Not $6. Let's see if I touch this, we'll go there. This is a picture. The third, number third, is Chevron, 28 billion. Number two is 30 billion. 28 billion. So he's got some oil interests. Coca-Cola, 25 million. The secret recipe is in a bank vault in Atlanta. It's been there since 1910 or something. Can you imagine? A secret hideaway place. American Express, 24 billion. That's interesting. Occidental Petroleum, that's 13 billion. And Chevron, 28 billion, 13, 28. That's about 40 billion invested in oil interests. Heinz ketchup, can you believe it? He's got 12.8 billion in Heinz ketchup. Not ketchup, but everything Heinz. The seventh largest holding. Almost 13 billion.
Yeah, it's the same thing the Biden administration has been doing all along, Martha, which is saying, you know, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes when they talk about the economy? It is true.
Moody's,
Very strong jobs growth and the unemployment rate is down.
the credit rating agency. Moody's, $7.7 billion worth of Moody's. I didn't know that. I learned something today. I clipped all these out, but I didn't read them all. Oops. Activision Blizzard. How about that? He's gone over his head here. My God. You know, that's a pretty sizable investment in a company that has to deal with, I think, video games and things like that. Activision Blizzard. $3 billion. This is number 10. And BYD, a Chinese-based electric vehicle company. They have a big share, although all eyes seem to be on Tesla with Elon Musk in the EV space. BYD has been ramping up production at a phenomenal pace and gobbling up market share. According to recent data, BYD has a bigger share than Tesla does. Yep, they do. Which is a surprise. And the 11th biggest asset, 1% of this investment, is in HP, Hewlett Packard. I love their printers. Been using them for years, but not now. Brother. I know they have a nice multi-function printer, scanner, faxer. Device, which I have right behind me, which we can't see. It's out of the view of our crusty camera. Anyway, so that is the 11th, the 11th largest holdings in Warren Buffett's portfolio, starting with Apple and ending up with HP, see, 1% invested. So these are the companies that represent more than 1% of his invested assets. All right, that's a nice listing. Thank you very much.
Well, it's pretty tough to cut through the noise.
So here's a, so we immediately, speaking of Apple, guess what? Very soon, see that right there? Because we're doing Expando. That is the iPhones that are going to be made using USB-C instead of this stupid lightning plug that Apple has, which I hate. I'll whip out the other camera one day, but not today. To show you the difference between lightning and USB. It's, it's better. The amount of information they can go back and forth with the USB-C is like 10 times faster than lightning. Sometimes faster. I don't actually know how faster. Oh boy. What else we got going here? Oh yeah, here's a nice look at that picture of Brennan, and he's downtown. Boing, right there in the hotels. This is this morning. Duval Street, Key West. There's a ship, a couple of ships. There he is again, Duval Street. Whoops, there's his girlfriends. No, this is the Kardashians. And they're highlighting the youngest daughter.
Tepezza is the only medicine that treats TED at the source, not just the symptoms. In a clinical study,
There's a
8 out of 10 patients taking Tepezza had less eye
stealth fighter jet.
Tepezza is an infusion.
That's the B-21, I think they call it. Fighter jet.
Before getting Tepezza, tell your doctor if you have diabetes, IBD, or are pregnant or planning to become pregnant.
Radar. Can't see it. These signals that are emitted by radar don't bounce off this. I guess I don't know whether they get absorbed by the external material or they don't bounce back the way they would bounce back if it was a regular jet with an aluminum or like titanium exterior. I don't know what this material is. And they're not going to tell you. It's a secret. All right, so there's a pair of Apple. Oh, here they are right here. They're hooked up to charging. I open up this thing. The green light comes on.
The company goes
And they
to
just
the
got
firstborn Audrey.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I just got it hanging up here. Stay out of trouble. Hey, look at that. Look at this. It came up. Jim's iPods are connected. 100% battery. Isn't that amazing? So they're linked to all kinds of your devices. Once you open up that, it looks for all the available Apple devices. And since we're good, stick me in your ear and you'll hear it. Well, apparently there is an important update that was sent out. And it's very difficult. There is a way. I read about a way. It's a little bit complicated. You go to the settings and you got to go through a bunch of procedures to update the firmware. So apparently there's a firmware update. And if you have your thing charging and it's in its case, which I have it in its case and it's charging, the firmware should automatically update. Emphasizing the word should, because it may not. It does it whenever it's convenient. I'm having a sip of Pepsi, by the way. My stainless steel vacuum insulated mug, which is amazing. I got all this ice in there and a little Pepsi in there. And this exterior is not developing any condensation because the exterior surface of this is essentially at room temperature because of the vacuum nature between the walls. The double-walled thermos. My daughter sent me a case of 6 of these. I love them. So it's a nice convenient way to have a little Pepsi. Okay.
As Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov calls the alleged drone attack by Ukraine a hostile
Kevin
act
Costner,
that will be met,
who got married 18 years ago. Look at that setting.
clearly a hostile act. It is absolutely
It's announced they're getting divorced. They got 3 kids over the 18 years, and they're divorcing. How sad is that? She was beating on him like a drum to stop doing Yellowstone, I guess because it took him away from the family for extended periods of time. And because of that, he stopped doing Yellowstone. Now he stopped doing The Wife. Maybe he'll start doing Yellowstone again. I think the story is probably more complicated than that, as is his story. Oh my God. This picture is up here because Apple has produced a brand new lens. Right here. It's a 100 to 300 constant aperture f2.8. And that's $9,490. And you can have one. Can you imagine? For over $9,000, you can have one. Woo! Look at this. Tesla, their plaid system is offering a package where you can go up. This is 318 kilometers per hour. You know, this is like a, set in Germany or something, as opposed to, whoops, there's my kid again. So, for $20,000, they can upgrade the wheels and the, what do you call it? The brake system. There's some special brakes, and the rubber itself, your tire. The only safety thing there is between you and the car and the road is the tire. You only got 4 of those. They better be good. If they're not rated properly and you go too fast, they'll just blow off the rim of the wheel. And then you could be spinning and all kinds of terrible things. So they have a package where you can go over 200 miles an hour in their plaid system car.
Well, I did push him on it,
What is this?
Ukraine cannot survive financially.
This is a 300 millimeter f2.8. I had one of those because it used to cost $12,000. But I was working in a camera store that was an official Canon dealer. And you know what the employee discount is? 50% off. So a $12,000 lens you get for $6,000. Woo, how do you not buy a bunch of lenses? So I did. I bought a few lenses. Half off. You could easily sell them on eBay for more. But, you know, if they find out, you'll be done. With the employee discount. Over the years, let me dress up. Green, yeah. Parade. And we had the, yeah, green shirt. I had a hat on. You couldn't see that in the picture.
It's that the price they demanded for the footage was akin to being
Okay.
a ransom. And so the two channels joined together, made a bit of fuss, made a bit of
There we go, Tesla drivers.
In the end, a deal has been done.
Tesla drivers are the same as Harley riders. It's true. Very loyal. Once you've ridden a Harley, you'll never drive anything else. And once you've driven a Tesla, you'll never drive anything else. If, you know, if at all possible. You know, but they, yeah, I had that Harley. A Harley lowrider. I think that's what this one is.
It's not an easy job.
So King Charles just pick up the phone and go, look, guys, we're not doing this so that some people can't watch. You better make sure everybody can watch.
I sold my, I traded my Harley for 2 jet skis and a trailer for the car. You know, where you can put both jet skis up, you know, on something and put it on a hitch and you tow it to wherever you're going to ride the jet skis. You can slide one in the back of your car, but I don't, you know, sideways. That's a diagonal. I don't think you can get 2 straight in. I think you'd have to flap the rear seats down, and then they'd probably slide in. But they're heavy. You know, now they're, you know, made of what do you call it? The exterior skin of that is like plexiglass, reinforced plexiglass. And, you know, it's got an engine, equipment, and reinforcing iron here and there. It's a jet pump. So it's got a nozzle. Oh, nozzle's about this big around. So that's like 6 inches. And it blows water out that nozzle. And, you know, a lot of water. So it pumps. You know, you got an engine with I don't know how many horsepower, 20 horsepower, something like that. But its whole purpose is to turn, you know, something inside that pipe that pumps water at an incredible rate. And underneath, there's like a strainer, so it'll try to keep out, you know, seaweed and crap if you happen to ride over or through such stuff, which of course you do all the time because, you know, there's seaweed everywhere. Anyway, so we had a lot of fun with the jet skis. So we ran on those. We lived in an area where I could hook up the jet skis, you know, in the trailer, which is all part of the package. Now, how I found this, I cannot remember how I found this guy in St. Petersburg, Florida, that wanted my Harley, and he happened to have a jet ski shop and the brand new trailers. You know, it's a jet ski store, and he wanted a Harley, and I had the exact Harley he wanted, and my Harley was better taken care of than many of the children in the United States. Woo, it was spotless. Yeah, and it had like 600 miles on it, you know, so it wasn't a lot of mileage. Besides, you know, how much we didn't ride it that much, but we had fun doing that. So I figured we'd have more fun, you know, doing jet skis. So we did that, you know, and then the kids grew up and this and that. Yeah, so
Findings show that repeatedly
we
gripping
got rid
small
of the jet skis. Somehow sold them, turned them into money.
This is Dr. Grip from Pilot, the #1 wide-body ergonomic pen, and the answer for hands that suffer from riding fatigue.
My chicken noodle soup.
Ergonomic latex-free
Animal Kingdom. There you go. We stayed at the Animal Kingdom Hotel on the grounds in Disney. What a they had all, you know, every room was, you know, like thatch hut and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun staying in that hotel. And then you come down the stairs and it looks like you're in the cavity of a big tree or something, or a cave. And you know, it was really nice. I would stay there again.
They have old floors at home. It's time to love your floors. Lumber Liquidators is now LL Flooring.
Hopefully when he gets back from his vacation, he's still a sous chef. Okay, what's going on here? A little message from Brennan Daniel. Oh, there's a picture of, oops, Brennan's lunch. Oh, it looks like star fry. It's got bean sprouts and all kinds of things. Very nice. I guess it's late lunch. There you go, Brennan Wilson, sous chef. Embroidered in this black. They had these black chef's clothings and so forth. Tomorrow is the coronation of King Charles III. This is the coronation of the Queen in 1953. 53, do the math. It's a long time ago. 70 years ago. I mean, she just passed away at 98 or something.
Well, tomorrow, King Charles.
Yeah, she's a very good looking creature.
70 years ago was when he became heir. So his big moment now less than 24 hours away. Senior Foreign Affairs correspondent Greg Halcott.
Old Town Mexican Cafe.
Always good to be with you here, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks nice. Old Town, yeah. Very nice. We haven't been in Key West in 25, 30 years. We missed the air show this year. Now this is a picture that we took of an air show. May 6th, 2017. You see that? That's embedded right in the picture.
Representing the U.S., First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, the president had begged off an earlier call.
Right. We had,
One of her stops today was at
and have very high quality digital equipment where you can, you know, there's a special setting on the lens. You know, it's on and off. So you have image stabilization, but it allows you to pan. So you can like pick out an object like that. And it'll still freeze it, even though you're moving your lens. Because you can't turn your torso the exact angular velocity that these guys are flying by at. So there's a slight difference. Well, the camera will still lock in the image.
Of course, on the streets today, as Greg was telling us, and you see that the king is there.
It took me a while to find. We have a number of galleries of, you know, where we took 200 or 300 pictures of
you can sort of tell when there's movement in front of the palace and that they may be hopping out of the cars to start to
Wilson picks.
Come out, shake hands, or look how close our producers got to Princess Kate. She was chatting with people outside of the palace.
It's right here. Civic and political events.
Celebration.
Touches.
And there she is, as everybody's sort of.
And you get these different gallery things. There's parades, girls and parades.
Extraordinary and kind of exciting.
That's all County firefighters.
Bagpipes,
oh, I love. We got movies of bagpipes. Look at this little kid all dressed up like his dad. Look at this beast. I asked Mama if you could just bring that little kitty over here close to me. And bam, I shot that thing. The kid didn't have time to think. See, oh, look at this. Look at this one. May 7th, 2016. That's, Fort Lauderdale Air Show, May 7th, noon to 3. The 22nd year. Look at this shot. That shot. Yeah, it's myself and Mel. Look at this one. Oh, 2003. That's a bomber. Really fast. Now this required very careful exposure. When you see the moment, now you can't shake like that, or else the image gets off. So, you got one plane going this way, another plane going that way. So you follow one plane, and when you think the other one, like you're going across, I think I was going right to left, to the top one. And when you think the bottom one is going to be right next to that one, you snap your shutter and hope. And look at that. It was like perfect. Oh, I mean, you could take 1,000 pictures and not get this one. That is so amazing. 2006. There's the space shuttle. Anyway, so underneath all these, let's go to 2006. Oh, look at that. They're almost touching. God. Oh, that's like 10 inches apart. That would,
You don't sound worried about the health or the longevity
problem.
I think you're putting words into my mouth, as they say.
So, RNC show, Fort Lauderdale. I got a quick story about, what kind of planes you're going to see in here. The F-117 stealth fighter. And just one after another. There's the helicopter. Beginning of the show. Then when these guys start zooming around, the engines sound like rockets. Yeah. We're looking at the belly of that plane. It's flying right over our heads. Look at this, you can see. You can see the guy with the mask and the arrows coming out of the front of it.
What do you think about how the monarchy
when he gets up to 20, 30,000 feet? It's not too much oxygen.
I think that one of the things that emerges from this pomp and ceremony and this glorious Britishness which we will see laid out tomorrow is that it's a bit of a tonic for the public. It's the royal,
you're never sure
is the beating heart of being British. And
where the propellers are.
Has the crown lowered on his head tomorrow, really.
So you can see with this, with the shutter speed, pretty much stop. My computer tells me it's 4 o'clock. Thank you. Well, we can look at the various indications. Yep. Yeah, look at that. That's the bomber. 4 engines. It's a big plane. Carries lots of bombs. Oh, this is the stealth. Oh, you can barely see it. It looks like a sliver in the sky. That's the idea. So, and it doesn't have any surfaces that would reflect back. The radars are over here and they're looking that way, and that's what the radar would see. What my camera sees here. There's no reflective, to give any energy to come back, and that's what radar depends on. It's getting a surface. Look at this. These fighters. Holy mackerel.
Celebrating a birthday today. That's right, today.
Oops.
saintly siren of song. How could I forget someone like you? See, I do that all the time, incorporating songs, and if you don't know them, well.
Anyway, you can go through this for the condensation is forming because the pressures are so amazing when they turn against the wind. And it creates a condensation on the wings. Huge. And you can feel when they jet near you. The first year we were there, it wasn't that well known. So the beaches were relatively empty. So we parked underneath. I mean, we had the car parked, but we walked and we found a spot right underneath a palm tree with the shade and everything. And Brennan had, real asthma kind of thing. So we had to, we couldn't get him to walk on the beach. So he was in his little carrier or whatever. So he just stayed in that. And we, stayed put because, you can't, you can't leave the kid alone, right? Anyway, so there was a time when these planes started flying around, and one of them just got so close to the beach, and it made a turn, and all the beach umbrellas got taken by the force of the air coming out of the back end of those rockets and just those jet engines. It blew all the umbrellas off the beach. The people went running after them. I had a hat on. Hat's gone. And so I'm shooting this with my camera, and I had a straw hat on. That's the end of that. It was somewhere else. It was in Fort Myers. I don't know where it ended up, but I looked. And I couldn't see it. It was out of sight. Look at all these. Everyone in this is the 810. Look at those big engines. And a big cannon in the front. That's the tank killer. Look at that.
With the coronation of King Charles tomorrow, and of course celebrating a singing legend, an angel, if you will.
This is like a picture where you can look at the engines on that. And the condensation, because that's doing one of these. It's going to go up. And the engines are like in, kick-ass mode. So there's so much condensation formed because of the low pressure. The plane's going like this. There's so much. You see the nose of the plane. And then you can see all this white on top. Oh my God. Here's the 810. This guy's going nice, really slow. He's got his landing gear down.
Not only that she's coming on the show, Dan, but that she just wants to talk to us. You know better than I. Yeah, we have a line open right now. We're waiting for the call. Line works, so anytime it comes in, and we're ready to add phones need be in case I get a wrong number or a
So that's my little
we'll be good to go to
live photo. Let's see if we want to buy that. How about a print? And what size? We want standard sizes.
Which, in the past, she didn't know anything
about
it, but, I advised it, and now, of course...
8 by 10 is $11.
Yes, absolutely.
11 by 14, $22. These are really good prices. All the proceeds go to sustaining the site. I don't take... none of that do we take out for our personal purposes. Look at this, 24 by 30. It's $130. Then you got more sizes. 8.5 by 12. It's 17. 10 by 15. You got different. 12 by 18. 16 by 24. 20 by 30. instead of 24 by 30. It's $100 instead of 130.
I mean, it's Adele. It is a huge celebration, and I am so
So
happy
any
to
of these
celebrate this day.
pictures, will be, you know, amazing. So we get, out of our 26 million potential visitors over a period of time. All right, we'll get rid of that. Let's see how my blood sugar's doing. Oh, God. It's leveled off at 229. It's 4 o'clock. Let's get the pictures thing out again.
Lionel Richie is great. Love Lionel Richie. But what's going on? Well, we do understand that your favorite human ever, Adele, was asked.
That's metformin. That's the world's most favorite go-to med for people that have pre-diabetes, for basically assistant blood sugar control. And metformin is the most widely prescribed drug in the world to treat type 2 diabetes, which is what I have. It may also be a key to slow aging. Aha! I'm interested. Mitigate age-related diseases, extend lifespan, and increase health. Wow. A pill that costs pennies a day. It's safe, and it's been scientifically shown to impact age-related biological changes. Holy crap. It's not exactly clear how it does it, but it does it. They have, 10,000 people over here that don't use it, and they got 10,000 people over here that do use it. They're all, over 65, 65 to 80, that 15-year period. And they find that it's not clear just how metformin affects aging, but researchers think it acts on several different, hallmarks of aging, changes at the cellular and chromosomal and molecular levels. Wow, okay, they threw some words at us. These transformations are what can lead to the onset of conditions like heart disease, diabetes, some cancers, dementia, often known as the diseases of aging. Many studies show that metformin targets these age-related cell changes. How nice. So I'm going to go dig out my metformin. let's go back to taking one of those a day in the morning. It'll help stabilize your blood sugar. I don't know how it does it. Apparently they don't know how it does it either. So that's the little news that I got. 2 times a day, metformin. 500 milligrams. This is an 850. I'm looking at the label upside down. Metformin, 850 milligrams. Yeah, my pills are 500 milligrams. That's fine. So he wanted me to take that 3 times a day. So I'll take metformin once a day in the morning. And I have a pill machine, so we'll put those back in the metformin. We'll go ahead and take those. All right. Wow, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Okay, well, you can read that at your pleasure, later today. Hallmarks of aging. Wow. I like it. Here's an article here. DeSantis is, the one thing, DeSantis and Disney thing. And, DeSantis saying, you can't have a special taxing district like you're running your own city. Well, guess what? That's what Disney and the state of Florida agreed to in 50 years ago when they decided to invest a couple of billion in that southwestern portion of Orlando. And Orlando was like you know, I can only think of nasty expressions. Oh boy. So it was a little tiny nothing. It was like less than 100,000 population. And now it's like 1,200,000. You know, and that's because of Walt Disney World and all the thing that you never hear with these guys that discuss it either for or against is they don't say, look, they provide their own police department, they have their own fire department, they have their own water department. They generate their own electricity. They're not hooked up to that P&L. They take care of all of their own water and sewer and trash. They do all that themselves. And in a very scientific way, they deal with all that. A lot more advanced than the city of whatever, Orlando. So, that's so because of that, Disney said, we don't want to be taxed like everybody else because everybody else is depending on your water, your sewer, your fire protection, your police departments, and all that. We have our own. We don't need you. As a matter of fact, our gates are closed. You can't even get in if you wanted to. So if something happens, a robbery, a burglary, a shooting, uh, you know, some medical thing, we have our own ambulances and we have our own way of treating people. And if it requires treatment that we can't provide, then we go out in the community and submit that citizen to a community hospital or fly them out to wherever they need to be flown to. So that's why DeSantis is he's going to lose this battle because it's more than just freedom of speech and all that. DeSantis on I'm a DeSantis fan, but I'm not happy with this one because he doesn't like what they say corporate wise. He doesn't like their wonk, WONK, whatever that means. So because of that, he's trying to penalize Disney because DeSantis doesn't like the way the company, comes out with public messages. Well, I mean, if there's anything freedom of speech, that's it. You can't tell me what I can say and not say, and because of that, we're going to change. We're going to hit you in the pocketbook because we're going to change your taxing status. Well, that's just totally unfair, you know. So so Disney filed suit in federal court, you know, so he's suing DeSantis and the new board members in federal court, alleging the company was retaliating against or exercising of its freedom of speech. And that's exactly what he said. A lot of times he gets on television and makes these very direct statements about what he's doing and why he's doing it. And, it's like, we're going to use your own face as, evidence of what you're doing, and you're actually trying to penalize us using, the great powers of the state of Florida against us. And we just can't pack up and leave because we got, billions invested in all the infrastructure for all the stuff. I mean, they get tunnels and they get an unbelievable amount of stuff underground. When you're in those parks, you never see a food delivery of a truck going down the road. You never see a garbage delivery. All the garbage goes down on, when they pick up the garbage, there's something from underneath that goes down. They empty out the trash can and put it back up, So there are people underground dealing with all that. So you never see a guy taking trash out of a can with a plastic bag and then walking down the hallway to put it in some kind of a chute. It, You know, each trash can goes underneath the ground. Anyway, so they have all this whole underground superstructure, that handles the entire servicing of the entire park. Hot water, cold water, all the water processing is done right by the Disney equipment. It never relies on any city service whatsoever. On purpose. Back in the 1950s, Walt Disney himself said, "We'll be completely self-contained. We don't need anything from Orlando, except for the fact we're buying property at market prices," and they bought 27,000 acres of property. At whatever people wanted to sell it for, they paid. No special deals. But no one knew about it. And it took them 10 years, and real estate agents from 26 countries, I'm thinking, and these agents would buy the property, and people didn't know, what it was going to be used for, and didn't realize they were connected. Otherwise, the guy in the middle would say, "Aha, I want $1 million an acre." Well, no one knew that it was Disney buying it because it's all through third parties. And I worked for Southeast Bank, and all the deeds to all those properties were in the vault of Southeast Bank. They go in there as the biggest, strongest bank, and that's where Walt Disney wanted them locally, and the big safe vault of Southeast Bank, and that's where the deeds went. All over, and they had the big map in a war room. Saying, "Okay, we got that one, we got this piece, we need that piece." A guy in Germany is working on this piece. And they got to 27,000 acres, and Walt Disney said, "Okay, we got enough. We only need 400 acres for this park, and 200 acres for that park, and Fort Wilderness, and another 300 acres." So we add it all up. It's not a lot compared to 27,000 acres. So they have a lot of acres left to do stuff with. So anyway, you drive miles and miles and miles into the Disney property before you see anything. And then all of a sudden these gates appear and you come around a big turn, on a 6-lane highway. It's amazing how much car traffic, but, and then on the bet that the day they open, they'll have over 35,000 guests per day. And you multiply that by the ticket price, and that's how they pay their expenses, pay their bills, and have a little bit left over for what Disney calls profit earnings. Yeah. So. Anyway, so that's the Disney thing. So it's very exciting. So they can't pick up and go. And they can afford real good lawyers, and they got real good lawyers. And unfortunately, I think DeSantis has barked up the wrong tree on that one, because it goes right down to freedom of speech. So you can say, "Oh my God, what's this guy going to do when he's president?" Yeah, it's just. Hopefully it gets forgotten, and they're going to settle this case, because this case is right in the face of DeSantis' possible run for president. So he's probably going to have to, let this case, be settled. That's what will happen. He's not going to say, "Oh, you're right and I'm wrong." They'll just settle the case, and no one will be right or wrong, even though we know that this company has the freedom to say whatever the hell it wants to say. And if people don't like it, they won't go to Disney. They'll stop going. That's that's how it works. It's people have they buy those. The ticket price is over $150 a person. Can you imagine? Per day. Ooh, oh my God. you know, a 7-day stay. It's $1,000 a person just to get it, just to get access to the park. And you know, ride the rides and do the, you know, see the sights and all that stuff. And gives you the right to have dinner for $150 a person. But they're really exciting, good dinners. You know, they have all kinds of food stuff and ice. I eat more ice cream bars, ice pops. I walk around the street, and you know, there's another ice cream truck. I'll think I'll get one. You know, because it's hot. You know, when you're dehydrated. All right, here we are. So with that, I think there's the sunny beaches. I don't know where she's at. Just have this section there. She doesn't look provocative, but cool. Okay.
I think way too premature to say that.
Races. We're going to have races tomorrow. I think it's. Ooh, I think it's at 6:35. Like the gates when they walk around and everything. I think it is. I think it goes right into early evening. Because they parade, they walk the horses around the track, or partially around the track. And then they walk them through another area where the owners, you know, have a chance to look at the horses. It's amazing. Big show. So with that, I think we're going to say goodnight. People outside are saying, "Yeah, do that, will you, please?"
Yeah, well, it has to give you some pause. I gave a speech before this last FOMC meeting where I said, even if you don't think that we should use the interest rate as a way to fight off a financial crisis, which I don't think you should. I think you should use your prudential and regulatory tools to do it. Things like that, even if they don't spiral into a crisis.
416-1100.com to see those pictures with a hyphen. 416-1100.com.